Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today? It is another amazing episode of White Paper Podcast. Jump, shout, holler, skip, swim, do all that good stuff. Let me say a big thank you to you for all the rave online. The comments are inspiring. The engagement is just so encouraging. Thank you to those who have sent me personal messages. Somebody said to me, I know you're a pastor and this show is all about wisdom, but I'm a Muslim, but you are healing my soul. That's what somebody said. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for your reviews. Thank you for those of you who are shopping our cool merch. We want to see more of that. Today, I am super excited because I have this privilege of having this amazing, spontaneous, creative, captivating, multi-gifted, multi-passionate. She's just a bundle of energy and bundle of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, voiceover actor, presenter, vlogger, blogger, compare, wife, mother, daughter, child of God, international voice.
Continue, please.
BellaRose Okoje Duruji.
Yes.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Can you holler? Like let the screen be burning up. You can see the stage. I mean, you're used to that stage live.
Blinding light. Thank you very much.
I share another person shining back to yourself.
No, I'm not.
And you know, it says the blinding light, so your illumination is so bright. That is hitting them and coming back.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I can't take
It's so
this.
much deep.
It's so much deep.
It is so good to be here, Pastor Dami. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
It is great to have you here. Thank you
much.
so much for obliging me and for your time.
Thank
you for the good work you're doing. Your work has gone into different places.
Thank God.
And I think this is the first time we're actually meeting physically. It's the first time.
I believe
I think so. But you know how you've met people online and interacted and just feel like you guys vibe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that we have some similarities.
I think that we do. I mean, we have tried to show that off cam.
Because there was a thought in my head. I said, no, let me not say. Let me just behave myself. I did not know. She had already picked up on it.
No, I'm innocent. Not in Libya. Just joking.
Innocent. You're innocent. You're in with God and sent to the world.
Innocent. Innocent.
And then you're innocent. Like sense you're smelling good.
Absolutely.
You're inside the fragrance.
And I'm
It's a deep. So ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an exciting conversation, right? Let me talk about, there are many things I want to discuss.
Please, let's go there. I'm excited.
So let's talk about this. You have so much energy, right? Your presentation, your post online, your carriage.
You can tell?
Yeah, I can tell.
Really?
I'm not like the 1990s publication, but I can tell. Right. And I know that I have vision and e-vision, but I'm not a tell e-vision. But I tell people they're electronic vision. Right.
Oh my goodness. We're getting in it.
Yeah, but I love the energy.
Thank you.
I love life. So I love it when I see people that are bubbling with it. I see that. But then, like when you're doing like your presentation sometimes, depending on the formality, you're very comported.
I am.
You're very together.
Yeah.
You speak very well.
I try.
Right. So you have that Yoruba accent, which you do for jokes. But then you have like your real presentation accent. So this bandwidth of poshness and razness, how far? To whom do you owe such versatility?
Where do I begin now? I can't. I mean, to whom do I owe it? God.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that. I really think that it's a gift.
Yeah.
I am truly not the most refined person in the room, I'm sure. However, I express myself in many different ways. When I was much younger, my mom always discouraged us from speaking pidgin English at home because she said it would spoil our proper spoken English. And, she would tell my dad as well, please don't speak pidgin with these children. My dad was Edo. And so, normally South pidgin, and my mom would always say, no, speak proper English. And she would encourage us to read books and all of that. When I was in secondary school as well, my oral English teacher was so awesome. Wow. She made me really understand oral English, how to pronounce words properly. My parents also invested a lot in our education. So I think after God, I owe my parents. And the schools that I went to, I owe them for how eloquent and how articulate I sound. Yes. But I think the other side of it, which I think is just a function of creativity and just the gift of God, is how I'm able to just switch and be someone entirely different. And I can sound different. I think that's also a function of my environment. I am very observant. It's a gift at the end of the day. I know how to imitate people. Yes. So I just sit down and I watch and I'm like, it's okay. And then, I'm trying out that accent or, that personality. And it's just sort of very easy for me to do. I think that's just what it is. I watch a lot of television. I'm very animated as well. I love cartoons.
You are very animated.
I love all of those things. Yes. I think all of these things have contributed to why I can be so many things. Across that broad spectrum.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that you spoke about God.
Yeah.
That's the source. And then parents. Yeah. And almost everybody who's been on the podcast has said one or two things about God and parents. Right. So that's very powerful, right? Yeah. Now, let's talk about this animation. So you do the accents thing. I think it was the day I was like, how are you doing this accent so well? You do that. Then you do voiceovers. I mean, it's called voice accents as well. Yes. Then you've compared some very big events, right? Like 81 Hours.
Marathon Messiah.
You've done that for a couple of years.
Yes, I have.
And all. Can you walk us through your journey of discovering that you could do these things, one, and then developing the confidence around your competence? Because there's so many people that are gifted. Yeah. But when you tell them, you're good as I can't do anything, but you own it and you're not prideful.
I mean,
right.
There's no gain in that.
Come on
really.
Now.
But I think I will start from the confidence bit. Again, I owe my parents so much gratitude for that. I come from a family where our parents are our first fans.
Yeah.
My dad and my mom are such huge fans of their children.
Wow. Did you guys have aces?
We did.
What's up with your fans?
We had aces and fans.
Okay, because you had aces, you could give me an AC. That's reply.
I don't want to lose my train of thought. So please help me to just rewind back.
Don't worry. If you lose your train of thought, I'll put you on a plane of thought. Why set for a train when you can have a plane, an aircraft of thought? Or you can have a bus of thought.
Or a napep of thoughts.
Yeah, now pep long. But I'll tell you, BRT of thoughts. You got oh my
a bicycle of
a bicycle of thought. No. Excuse me.
Sorry.
That'll make you think about a harvest, because a bicycle of thoughts, you buy a sickle that is just for harvesting.
Right.
Bicycle of thoughts. Right. But you're talking about your parents.
I was talking about my parents.
Biggest fans.
And
that's how this thing started.
They were our biggest fans. And, they were the kinds of, my mom is, alive to the glory of God. My dad has gone to be with the Lord. Wow. And while my dad was alive, he was the kind of person who would say, you can do this thing. And he never discouraged us from doing anything. Good. And it was a thing of, I believe that you can do this thing. And everywhere my dad went, and he saw a glimmer of opportunity to talk about what any of his children could do, my dad would sound that thing so loudly. And sometimes it would even make you feel a bit jittery. Because like,
believe me so much.
Like, I don't even know I can do this thing as well as you're saying I can. But because and my dad also was a very confident person. My dad could walk into any room. If you met my dad was also a very lively person. He could enter a room and he had such appeal, you know. And so that always worked in our favor. My mom also definitely was the one who helped us with the disciplinary aspect of our talents and our gifts, where it's like, if you know how to do something, use that gift to the glory of God. If you know how to sing in the church. If you can act in church. If you can present, go and do announcements in church. All of these things. My mom made sure that she encouraged us to use those our giftings, for God, and that we started from the church. And I think that definitely helped us. I can never forget, and I say this as many times as I can remember, or when I have the opportunity. One time, my sister had an interview on AIT, PM News. I mean, Pastor Daniel, which singer will have interview on PM News? Was not PM News. Sorry, PM News is a publication. It was a crime type show on AIT that was hosted by Uncle Ladi Lawal of blessed memory. And it was a show about news and current affairs. But my dad was able to get my sister, a gospel artist, to appear on that show. My father could sell snow to an Eskimo. What? And so my dad got her to be on the show as a guest. And somehow, while Uncle Ladi was interviewing my sister, I was right there in the studio, just like this. And he's like, we went on a break and he says, I heard you want to be a newscaster. I said, yes. And my father was like, my daughter is the best newscaster. She's the youngest and the best. And I'm like, and Uncle Ladi said, really? Okay, come and do something on TV.
Wow. And the same day, right?
The same day while my sister's interview was going on.
Wow.
And I hadn't done anything like that before. The only experience I had was sitting down at the back seat. My dad was driving us to school or wherever. And if it bought Punch or This Day, I would take it and sit down and I'll be reading to him. And he'll be looking at me in the rear mirror and he'll be giving me ginger. And then Uncle Ladi says, come and read a news script. And I'm like, okay, sir. Wow. So they brought some old news script at AIT, gave it to me to read. I won't even lie, Pastor Dami, I was afraid.
Boom, 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 boom.
Not maybe beating so fast, but I was just scared. I mean, we're in front of a camera. People are shy when they're in front of ordinary people. How much more a camera that is live? It wasn't even recorded. And then I get the script and I'm about to start reading it. And my dad is behind the camera and I can see the pride in his face. You know how he's just like, you've got this. It's like American film. My dad was just there.
I was
like
spelling bee kind of thing. What I mean? Crunch time.
He was right there, and seeing him there, and my sister also was on the set as well. My sister's one of my biggest encouragers, and I took that script. I read it. I fumbled a bit, a few times, but it was still a very good outing. Yeah, Uncle Ladi was so proud.
To remember,
what? My dad was so proud of me. He's like, yes. And from there, I saw myself as being able to do anything, being able to walk into any room and showing them I've got this, even if I wasn't sure what I was doing, even if I was not clear in my head about what I was going to do there. That confidence that I had, that my dad was proud enough of me to say, if this is an opportunity for my child to show what she's made of, listen, I'm going to support her. She may not know how to do it just yet, but just you watch. He did that with my sister as well. My dad will go to places where gospel artists could not enter. Wow. Like there was no business with a gospel artist being on a Benson and Hedges show, like Pastor Dami. Yes. Ago, early 2000s, late 90s. My sister was on the same bills as all of the secular artists in Nigeria. Yeah. And she'll be like the only gospel artist.
Some people don't know what Benson and Hedges are.
I know, but like my sister was on the bill to perform at those kinds of events. And my dad will say, have you heard my daughter sing? Yeah. My daughter is the best voice in this country. Wow. And my sister will be like,
I just did try.
My sister can't sing. I think she's the best worshiper alive. Wow. But at the time she was young, she was 10. Yeah. And she was in the midst of men that were old enough to be her grandfather in some instances. But you see, having a parent who believes in you so much, who will tell the world that you can do something, is the biggest confidence booster any child can ask for. Yeah. And one other thing that has also helped me, when you talk about not being prideful, is the place of my mom in helping us understand that no matter how popular you are, no matter how famous you get, you will go and wash plates when you finish eating. You will do your assignment. You will wash your uniform. You will iron it. You know, you will do house chores. You will go and buy me pepper if I need to make jollof rice. You know, all of those things have really helped me and my siblings to stay very grounded.
Yeah.
They've helped us to also remember that the gifts that we have are not for us to just shine and be popular and famous and everything, but that God has given us these gifts for a purpose. And you cannot function with these gifts outside of God's purpose for your life. So these things have really helped out. And so when I get on big stages and I see very influential people, HNIs, and I'm like, I hope I don't blow ground in this event today. I just remember that, you know, I'm not doing this of my own accord. I have God with me and the support system I have. By the grace of God, I'm married now. My husband now is my biggest ginger.
Sure.
Praise the Lord.
Show us, Mr. G. We celebrate you.
My husband is, if he's not able to go with me, you know, he's watching. If there is a live, if there's a link for him to watch on, he's there. And he's taking screenshots to send me like, babe, you look fabulous. I'm like, thanks, baby. You know, so I think that having that kind of support system helps you go out there and shine. Even if you're not maybe the best or you don't think that you are the best, it helps you get on these big stages. And that little confidence that you have is just going to multiply once you pick up the microphone and you do what you want to.
Amazing. I love that. You definitely care about family and about people, about relationships.
Absolutely.
And for those who don't know, our sister is Benita. Now, Benita was a child star.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know those kind of children that would be like, see Benita.
Your age mates.
those kind of people, right? Because I think she came to the spotlight at 9 or so. 8.
Yes.
Right. So imagine that. And then back then, you didn't have social media. Like now, social media, you know, I have all these children at 3 and 4 who have a million followers.
Yes,
and
stuff.
Instagram, TikTok. But long before there was social media, she was influencing.
Yeah.
Right. So this makes sense now to see that there was a backdrop to it, a backstory to it, where your parents were literally grooming, raising. Yeah. And I think that also has an impact on your decisions, right?
Yes, definitely.
Because you can make good decisions if you lack confidence.
Sure.
Right. You're likely going to make bad decisions when you lack confidence.
And I think even sometimes, right, when you make decisions that are not the best decisions, when you have people who truly care about you, there is a way their support will come across. And it may not be like them shutting down that decision immediately. It's just, I don't know about this, but let's see how it goes.
So you have a safe space.
There was a time BellaRose, said I wanted to go and be a model. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do I look like a model?
Yes, you do.
I do know.
Yes.
Models they are skinny. They are,
according to that prototype. In that season.
BellaRose said she wants to go and do it.
Okay, that's right.
My mom said, okay now, go with God.
She didn't say God, go with you.
She said go with God. She said,
you go with God.
She still says that if I'm going out or what, I said go with God. She's like, okay, go. Let me know when you get there and the kinds of pictures they take. And I'm like, okay, mommy. When I go back, say, mommy, wait, see, who sent me? Mommy said, I know what I can eat. No, me don't be like they discourage you. I mean, now we speak in English a lot, but it's like, you know, like sometimes you need to find out yourself. Like, go find out. But there's that safe space you mentioned. There's that safe space you can return to, and you're like, nah, I shouldn't have been like, but you had to hug.
Yeah, you can have it.
So there's that as well.
All right, beautiful. Let's talk about some of you've had some major stages and some major platforms and some major opportunities.
Absolutely.
Right. So you're telling me about tech company earlier.
Yeah.
So I thought that you were just the face or a newscaster, or you had some kind of deal with TechCity. But you're telling me that you're actually the city in the TechCity.
Hey. It's so much deep.
That's a new one. It's so much deep.
I am a co-founder at TechCity.
Amazing.
Parent company is Green Street Media.
Wow.
TechCity is one of the subsidiaries of the company. It's a company that was founded by myself, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, and a few other really awesome, hardworking, gifted, creative people. The company was 10 years last year, 2022. We founded the company when we were fresh off university, the Redeemers University.
Wow.
And my brother-in-law is such a geek. he's into computers, into gadgets and all of these things. And I'm just a presenter. I'm just like, give me a microphone, give me a camera, and I'm going to just impress you. So we wanted to do an e-yearbook for our school at the time, the Redeemers University. They needed someone to be a presenter, talk to the vice chancellor, a few students, lecturers, etc. They were going to handle everything else, from the platform, the online platform, to uploading all of those things. My job was just to present. And I'm like, oh, what? I was born for this.
Let's do it.
Bring it on. And I went on that project with them. And afterward, my brother-in-law, he wasn't even with my sister at the time. They hadn't started courting at the time. He just says, I'm starting off a company and I want you to come on board. I think you're really great at presenting and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, of course. Business is not my strongest point, to be honest. I'm like, it's presenter you need. Don't worry. I will do it. And that's how the company started. And then we went on to doing gadget reviews. Like I said, my brother-in-law is big on gadgets. And while we were in school, if anyone's laptop got bad or something, they will come to him and say, Wally, I beg, let me do my laptop. And he's like, sometimes he says, people bring their laptops to me and what they need to fix is something very minor. That they don't need to even take to computer village or pay money for. And it's like, we can do something that will help people explain what they can do with their systems, their phones. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure.
Wow.
And I'll present that. And so we started that 10 years ago on YouTube. We wanted to get on television. Impossible.
Because of the bills, right?
Crazy. And so we said YouTube. Thankfully, we did a review for a Samsung device. And we were able to reach, get to Samsung Nigeria. And that was basically where TechCity just, took off from. We began appearing at major tech events in Nigeria, which we still appear on now. And we are almost always referred to as, one of the best tech publications in Nigeria, particularly for our video content. So tech events, gadget reviews, and other stuff as well. And we have a great relationship with, the Samsungs, the Googles, the Microsofts. We do a lot of things with them in the area of documentaries, internal communications for a lot of other companies. We have grown from just being a tech centered company to now a full-on media, a 360-degree media communications company. Amazing. That does so many more things. And starting from there really helped me to become better at what I do as a broadcaster, as a media person, because now I'm doing more than just presenting. I'm producing now. I'm editor-in-chief of the website. I'm doing a ton of other things, and it all started from there.
Start somewhere.
Yeah,
and then grow. I'm going to ask some more other tactical questions, but let me pick on something.
Please.
You spoke about your brother-in-law.
Yes.
And then you said that your dad is an appeal.
Yeah. All
right. So there's something legal about your house, court of appeal and brother-in-law.
Law and appeal.
So.
Oh my goodness. No suits.
So no suits though. No suits. Is your name Jessica?
Well, was she a character in Suits?
PSN.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm sorry. That flew over my head because I didn't watch the show a lot, but I knew that.
Okay, so you're not Jessica, but you have a PSN. Okay. So anyway, I don't want to be a spectre, but you can have a spectre as also
a character. Okay.
Let me move on. All right, good stuff. So let's talk about small beginnings, because many times when people stumble on a multi-gifted person like you, they sort of like start from your current chapter.
Right.
And go, she has energy, she has vibe, she's coordinated, she's done stuff on the big stages and all of that on television. How did you start? Right. So you spoke about Redeemers University and, God redeemed you from university.
Praise the
Lord. But let's talk about how you start. Money, adult life. There's that song, Adulthood Nice Calm. People are like, hey, so I have all these gifts. I like what you're doing. How do I start?
Yeah.
I need to make money. I need to leave my parents' house at some point, right? How,
So I think I've always loved working. I don't like to be idle. Again, I think that definitely comes with being
I know you sing, but were you
skilled.
On Nigerian Idols?
No, never.
But you say you don't like to be idle. Is that why?
For what it's worth, I'm in my sister's band.
Yes, that's what.
I'm in my sister's band, so I sing backup for my sister.
Okay, which of the bands, as in band or the like others band?
It's not blue band.
Oh, but that's smooth like
We
butter.
sing to the bread of life.
That's smooth like butter.
Smooth like
Even though it's not blue band.
it's not blue band,
Okay.
but we sing to the bread of life.
Come on.
But anywho,
you know Fred Hammond.
I
Bread
do,
of life.
yeah, sands down
From
from
glory.
But this
Okay.
bread no be gay.
Good. Enter.
Okay. So where was I?
You say we're speaking about idol. Did you like
Yes,
to be idle?
yes.
So you
I don't
to
like to be
work.
idle. I've always liked working. So from when I got into university,
Yeah.
first year, I said I want to work.
Wow.
I've
So
always
you
loved-
university. You were the university yourself.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always liked that. And so my dad also did discover that I was very interested in being a broadcaster. He knew I loved Oprah, the Yinka Craigs of, NTA. I loved all of these people, loved watching them on TV.
Sadiq Daba.
Uncle Sadiq was my father's very good friend.
Wow.
And so my dad knew that I loved some of these things. And so he always tried to encourage me. And so when I got into my first year of university, he said, "Oh, what do you want to do?" I'm like, "I want to get on radio." He had tried to even do a show for me in 2003.
Your dad really went in.
My dad.
I'm learning.
You don't want to know. But I think it's and that's why it's great to marry right. He and my mom, they complemented each other really, really well. My dad was a showbiz guy. So he's managed the likes of your Felix Liberties, Chris Okotie, Sonia Koso, all of these people. And so he used that experience to work with my sister and me. And my mom was also very heavy on welfare, taking care of us, looking out for us and making sure whenever this child is going out, I'm not going to leave her alone because the times are weird.
Yeah.
So my dad knew that I wanted to do that. And when I got into school, I said, I want to work. I just want to do something. And he said, "Oh, I know somebody in Link Radio. Link Radio is now, what's this? Max FM."
Oh, really?
Yes, it was Link Radio.
I thought Max
years
was
ago.
new. Like
No, it
10
was
years
Max
ago.
FM. It was first called Link Radio.
Okay.
When it was, I think, Intercontinental TV or something weird like that. And so I said, "Well, I would like to intern there." And so he said, "Okay." I would go there, I think every Friday. My mom would sometimes go and drop me. And then I'll get there. They'll say, "Ashko Entertainment News." I can't remember the name of the show, but I'll be there and I'll be talking so fast because I have a fast tongue.
Yeah.
And then I would start there. They didn't used to pay me. They didn't give me shishi. In fact,
They only paid attention.
They paid attention to the glory of God.
So they didn't pay shishi,
But they paid
even though you were in labor.
LP. LUP 75.
LUP.
76. But I would go there. My mom sometimes would drive me there. A few times I went there on my own. I worked there for a couple of months. It definitely got tiring at some point because it was pretty far from home.
Oh,
But
wow.
yes.
It's far from home.
Not
So
Netflix.
you were on Netflix
Not
long
Netflix.
before that.
Not Netflix.
Okay, I see.
But I tried that. And because I just wanted to do it, I have always loved broadcasting. And after I stopped that, I went back to school. I was always looking for opportunities. So anytime my dad needed to do something, my dad would write proposals upon proposals. He was doing a lot of work in media at the time. And so I would help him proofread. He would bring stuff to me and say, "Bella, proofread this for me. I'm sending this proposal to someone. Or I want to record something. I need you to record it for me. I need you to help me do this and that." And so I was building capacity from there. I'm not the kind of person who says no very easily, even though I'm trying to work on that. But I think it helped me in my early years.
Yeah.
But just being open to any opportunity. And so from Link Radio in 2000 and what year was it now? 2005, 2006. I then, when I finished school, or just before I finished, I worked with Adeso Ayonokwe at TW Magazine. I worked there as a staff and intern writer.
Did you apply for that, or you were called?
How did I even get that job? I think I just went there. I knew that she owned a magazine, and I'm like, I want to work in a magazine company. And so I got a letter from school to go there. So I did my
internship?
IT there just before I finished university. So I went there, worked for a few, and I think I stayed there a short time after. And after I left there, I always looked at, so Inspiration FM, would advertise in TW magazine. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, Inspiration FM. What a radio station. And I'll listen. I'm like, they even like play gospel music. Like, this is my jazz. This is what I want to do. And I'll see Dan Foster's picture. Wana. What's his name again? Of blessed memory as well.
Chaz B.
Yeah. I'm like, TITI. I'm like,
What's that show?
Sharing life issues.
Life issues.
And so I'll be like, these people are so cool. I would like to work in this kind of radio station. And I just said that, and I'm like, well, And then I finished university. I went and served. And I think that some people will be like, well, your parents need to know someone, but I don't think so. But I mean, thankfully, my dad knew people. So he would be like, my dad would just sort of be the one who introduces. He's like, my daughter wants to do X, Y, or Z. It's up to me to prove myself. And again, I thank God for the kind of family I'm from.
Yeah.
My family, we don't stand nonsense. My dad believes in your gifts enough to make sure that you have the opportunity to show the stuff you're made of. And so he's just like, my daughter wants to serve. And so I went to AIT. I served there, and in a couple of months, I was an associate producer for shows like Bedroom.
Wow.
And I thank God for the opportunity.
Yeah.
While I was at AIT, I would sometimes just go and greet people. Because I mean, my sister's songs were played on AIT and Power till everyone almost went deaf. And so I would go there because they knew me, and I would go there to just greet and say, good afternoon. Again, it's not like they were paying me a ton of cash. I don't even remember if I was being paid so much money at the time. And then I would go there and just greet. And one day I went to greet them, and they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in AIT. I'm just serving there. And they said, come and voice something for us in Ray Power. I'm like, of course, why not? And I went, voiced something, and I'm like, you sound really nice. How about you co-host a youth show? Wow. It was called Young World. This was circa 2011, 2012. And so I would go record. I wasn't getting paid a dime.
Wow.
I wasn't getting
Somebody,
paid.
are you listening?
I wasn't getting paid any money. But I felt like, and that's the thing with like just being passionate about stuff. Even when you don't have a dime in your pocket, when you have the opportunity, don't say, at least I don't even pay me. Let me do it anyhow. My thing was, bring the mic.
Top notch.
Ooh, I will give you something that will blow your mind. And I wasn't being paid any money. And I did that for months.
Wow.
And then it was time for me to finish my service. AIT wanted to retain me, but they were not sure where they were going to put me. So they said, okay, come for an audition. And I said, okay. And then I went for audition. MD of AIT told me, I said, Bella, what are you doing? Ray Power. MD of Ray Power was on the panel.
To recognize.
And she's like, Bella, what are you doing here? I'm like, I want to stay at Ray Power at AIT. And she said, they had spoken to me before, like, what do you want to do? Would you mind staying back at Ray Power? I'm like, I won't mind though, even though now it's just a youth show that I'm doing. It was 30 minutes on Saturday. I mean, Saturday afternoon. Who even listens to radio at that time? And they're like, well, you sound really good. And so when she saw me on that panel, she was like, Bella, what are you doing here? I'm like, I want to audition to stay at AIT. And she looked at me stern and she's like, go to your duty post. We'll talk to you. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Duty post. I'm not even sure. I'm not sure. We're not sure. I just said yes, man. I left. And after I left, I think like the following week or so, they called me and said, we want you at Ray Power. You'll be on the morning show. Morning show for a first timer. Like that is no joke. They don't joke in morning show anywhere in the world. And I'm like, morning show. And they said, yes, you'll be on UMS. I was working with Uche Nogo at the time. And, it was such a big opportunity. I thought that there were very big shoes to fill. And I'm like, there were a lot of gaffes. What? So many gaffes.
And radio is live.
Radio is live. It's so transient. You can't say, sorry, pause, let's go back. Or like a recorded show. Nothing like, the youth show I was doing was recorded. So if I do anyhow, they would cut it out. But this was live. 5 hours, 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. Wow. And so I did that for a few months. And then they said, oh, now you'll be reading the news.
Hey.
Now that was my dream. I just always wanted let me just read my news and be going. That's what I always wanted to do. And so a few times I read the news and it was so poor. It was terrible. I was pronouncing words wrongly. My name game was terrible. If I pronounce somebody's name for you, I can say Oluwatoyumbo. Like, so bad. So one day, Auntie BM Olufobi in Ray Power called me and said, sit down, Bella. And she spoke to me and said, just calm down. If you get your script early enough, go through it, get a dictionary. There was DG, I can't remember what the first word is, Daniel Jones dictionary in the studio.
That was like one of the...
So you go check it, make sure that you get your words properly pronounced, all of those things. I'm like, okay, ma, thank you, ma. And I got better there. Now, I wasn't making, I can say unequivocally, I wasn't making money. I was being paid a salary, but there were days that I would wake up and I would collect money to eat lunch for my mommy. So I wake up by 2:05, mommy, they have come to pick me. Please, I need money for lunch and money that I use when I'm coming back from work. And at some point I said, I can't continue like this. I'm working. I leave the house every morning. I say I'm going to work. Sometimes my brother will even escort me to where they came to carry me. You know, and it's like something more show for it. And again, it's not like I was in it for the money, but it's like, you get to the point where you're like, and beyond that, it's like there is a pride that comes with knowing that, oh, this is my career, and you taking it seriously in that manner. And so I told my parents, I'm like, I want to leave. I want to go elsewhere from Repower. I didn't know where I was going, but I had prayed about it. I got a leading to leave. Pastor Dami, I didn't know where I was going. I don't have any like
Abraham, journey of faith.
You know, I just said I just wanted to leave. And so my dad was like, am I sure? My mom was like, she said she wants to leave. And that's the thing again. My parents were very supportive. Even though sometimes it didn't make sense to them. It's like, are you sure? Because my sister also was like, Bella, are you sure you want to leave? At least people are knowing your name. And then, random fact, I wasn't even buying BellaRose on Repower.
Oh.
My name was, at least I went by Ose. My Edo name, because in Repower you don't use an English name. That's like the policy, native, you know. So, but people were knowing me as a radio person. You know, I was getting like Twitter followers and all of those things. Early Twitter users back then, you know. And I'm like, I just want to go. I feel led to go as well. I've learned so much from this place, and I feel like and I tell people anytime anyone came to me and said, Bella, I want to work on radio, I'm like, go to Repower. No, you will learn. Ooh, you will learn. They will teach you everything from news to production, all of that. And then I said I wanted to leave. I didn't know where I was going. One day my star gets called. I think they invited her for Uncle Sonny Rabo's program on Inspiration FM. I had forgotten that I went to TW magazine and I was seeing Dan Foster in the magazine and saying, I want to work here. Forgotten completely. So my star gets on Uncle Sonny's show and I'm just like, hey, Father Lord.
Looks like the place.
Lord, look at. I would like to be here. And, you know, Uncle Sonny just is like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just, you know, I hadn't even fully resigned at the time. I'm just, you know, about to leave Repower. I saw an engineer who knew my family. I was like, oh, I think you should apply. I think they'll be looking for new presenters. And I told Uncle Sonny, I said, I would like to, you know, and again, sometimes I don't really, confident as I am, I don't like to push people to seem like a bother. I was like, I wouldn't mind, you know, the place is not bad, they're bad now, you know. And then he said, okay, we are doing some auditions, you know, I'll let you know. So I took his number. 2 weeks or so after, my star was even traveling or something. So we're going to drop by at the airport and he calls me and he says, where are you? Can you come? And, where am I? Can I come?
I'm on my
Hello,
way.
sir, I'm at the door. You know, and then I auditioned. And I saw Dan Foster.
Wow.
He was right in the room. And they said, oh, you know,
like
do something.
Barack Obama or something.
I mean, someone that you look up to.
Yeah.
Dan was like, he was the icon
legendary,
of radio.
It was.
And he enters the room.
Pioneer voice for that generation of
Pastor
broadcasters.
Dan Foster enters the room.
And
they gave me a script. I froze. I was everything. No, I have not reached the G's though.
I'm trying to.
Dan Foster backs me. He did not look at my face. He just backed me like this and he sits down. I'm like, why is he doing that? Hello, sir. You're an inspiration. Hello. I didn't say that. I was thinking it in my head like, sir, don't do this to me. Why do you back me?
He turned his back on you, literally.
He didn't look. He backed me. And they said, okay, you know, do what you have to do. So I read a news script. They said, do a 2-minute spontaneous show.
Was this live or this
was an audition in their production studio. So I did that. They said, do something just spontaneous, a 2-minute radio show.
Okay, I think I
like,
know
hi
why
guys,
I backed you.
my name is BellaRose Okogie and I want to do X, Y, and Z.
I know why I backed you.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
And then I got the job, thankfully. I got to work with Dan Foster. Months after, he starts telling me why he backed me. He said, you know why I love the talent, the reality show, The Voice?
Yeah.
It's because you can't see their faces.
Yeah.
I want to hear, I don't want to be moved by your smile, by your what you look like. I don't want any of that.
The voice has to do all the, because when you hear Dan say, Chocolate Royale.
Yeah, I know.
That rich guttural voice. I can't even do it. Like, it just carries all kinds of emotions.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what he was listening out for. And he turned and he says, she's good. And he walks out. I'm like, well, thanks for that.
So you're good. That's
he's like, she's good. I can hear the smile when she's talking. I can hear the smile. I can hear the smile. Good job. And just walks out. I was like, thank you. I got out of camera what I do. And I got to work with Dan for...
Excuse me, can we have a picture, please?
Funny thing is, I didn't even take a picture with Dan until like years into working with him. That was a big opportunity. Now I get into Inspiration. I worked with Dan for... I mean, we still worked after we both left Inspiration. We still had a really great relationship till he passed. Wow. We had a fantastic relationship. And people sometimes are like, the way Dan Foster likes you now, wow. I don't know what it was, but we had a great relationship. Wow. There were times that there was a time I was working Monday to Sunday on radio. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I knew I was being overworked, but I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to see this radio thing. I want to just do it my life. And Dan was like, no, Belle, you can't, he used to call me Bells. And it's like, no, Bells, you can't do that. And so he would speak to HR and say, I'm taking one day off. She's got to rest. You can't, and of course, I mean, it was Dan Foster. They'd be like, okay, sorry, she's your baby. And he taught me the ropes. Companies will come with hypes and everything. You say, Bells, take it. And I'll do it and I'll fumble and he will laugh. There was a day I was on radio where the first day he left me to do the Sunday show, because he used to work on Sunday mornings as well, the Praise Jam with Dan. Yeah. And then I would come on after him. And then he left me that he needed to go home. And I didn't know how to work the console. Hey, Pastor Danny, I was just doing nonsense. And now I pressed the pressing. I now pressed music. Mic was still on. I was freaking out and I was like,
where are you?
Then my phone starts ringing. Dan Foster was laughing. He said, Bells, the mic is still on. I said, just calm, Bells. Just calm, okay? You'll get a hang of it. Just calm. And, we worked on Inspiration for about 2 years. Wow. And then we went on to do a lot of other independently produced stuff before we now again worked together at City FM. We did stuff with Shell, ARM Pensions. We did podcasts like this. Yeah. So they were not called podcasts at the time.
But that's essentially what they were.
That were shared all around. Yeah. And I wasn't earning the most money. But, every opportunity I had, I'm like, I just want to do really good work. And I think that's one thing that also helped Dan and I function really well, because I was always like, let's do this thing well, and I was learning from him. He taught me so many things, and whenever he saw me put those things, when I applied those things, he would be so proud. He'd be like, I taught you that, right? I'm like, yeah, you did. He taught me voiceovers. Wow. It's like, Belle, you can sound animated. It's like, close your eyes. Just imagine. Just think about it. And I'm like, yeah, I can see it. And it's changing how I sound. All of these things contributed. Going to CTFM as well. And again, it's not like the environments were so great. They weren't awful, to be honest. But there are sometimes that you work with some people and you're just like, you know what? I don't need a job. Goodbye. I'm done. But I didn't do that. It's like, I know why I'm here. I'm here to learn. And people will say, Amy, I'm resigning from this company. I'm not getting what I want. And I'd say, I get that. Yeah, but if you know where you're going, don't follow the crowd because they're resigning. Come on now. Do what you have to do while you're there. Yeah. Get all the experience that you need before. If God is not saying you should move, listen, don't go faster than your leader. Chill there. Don't go faster than your leader or like your creator, your God, your savior. Stay there, chill, learn everything that you need to learn. Wow. And people sometimes say, they are using me. They're using me as a slave. They don't even pay me. If you don't, truth, and I'm not saying this because I'm on this podcast or because it's like, she now has experience, so it's easy. There are things I still do now pro bono. Now. You may think that, if you check Bella's account now, almost 6 zeros. Amen. But there are things that you still do free. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of the opportunities that I have taken on that were not paid have opened me up to see the kinds of people that sometimes call me. I do volunteer work for a lot of people. Wow. A lot of people. And when they need me to do something for a bigger company, like, please reach BellaRose. She'll do it for you and they'll pay me. And it could be that what I'm doing for the person that referred me, I'm not being paid for it. But I'm just like, I love excellent work and I like to be in that space. And I'm also one who is big on, especially as a Christian, if I'm going to work in a Christian, on a Christian project or something, it has to be excellent. Like, let's do it very, very well. And people definitely see that me, I'm all about the excellence. I may not get paid for this or whatever, but I'm excellent at it. I want to just preach excellence, and I want people to see that just because I'm a Christian does not mean I'm mediocre. If anything, my salvation contributes to my excellence. You can see that it's because she's a Christian that she's this fantastic.
All right, so thank you for going in and sharing your life story with us.
I didn't say too much.
No. As in, like, we can keep going, but it's go on break now.
Oh,
we can keep going, right? This is what I usually say in my mind, like when I'm speaking and presenting and it's taking time. and I say, do you guys have any questions? And people are pausing, and I go, I know that one of the questions you guys have is, can we go on break now? But he said something very important about charging, and I think we'll talk about it after the break. But let me just drop by saying, so let me land by saying this. People may not be batteries, but you should charge them.
I agree.
Do you agree or agree?
I agree 100%. Like a fully charged battery.
I love it 100%. And that's on green for go. We'll see you after this break.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Jimmy Akimbadi. I'm a facilitating consultant, or what you can call a trainer. I'm also an economist and fine artist, amongst doing some other things. I came in for Pick Your Brain session with Damilola Oluwatoyinbo. I got to know about the session from another webinar I attended that was hosted by him. I must admit that it was mind-blowing, really eye-opening. This session is worth more than what I paid for. It's actually worth something around 100,000 naira. I learned a lot of things. Be consistent to get a pattern of results. Don't try to be all over the place. You can be multi-talented, but define who you are. Define what you want to be known for. Define your vision, and then be consistent. Start small. Start from a particular area. After you are known from that area, you can now diversify into other areas. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody. I recently joined Genius X. It's a community where you are groomed, where you are mentored to achieve your goals. So that's very needed for everybody, whether you are multi-talented or not, whether you are doing business, whether you are creative, it's needed so that as much as possible, you can carve out your vision and achieve your goals.
All right. So thank you to all of our sponsors and partners. Don't forget that you can be an episode sponsor, right? You can be a season sponsor. You can be a supporter. We just want to be able to share this very important message in a friendly, warm, wise, witty manner, in a way that people can digest without feeling judged or condemned or overrun. And we want you to partner with us so that the message can go far. So I want to thank our sponsors, Global Greatness, a community of leaders and influencers who are doing great work in their personal growth and their business. Also, Genius X, a community of creatives and gifted people who are shaping the world for the better in a sustainable fashion. Of course, Dreamstream, causing your dreams to stream, and Dream Space, where your dreams come alive. We're recording this live at Dream Space. So you want a space for your podcast, for your own show, for your events, knowledge-driven events, we are here for you. All right, let's go on to the charged battery.
Let's. Please.
Now I want to get tactical.
Please.
Right, I want to just ask you some direct questions.
Okay. Should I be afraid?
Should you be afraid?
Should I be afraid?
You are a girl, so you can't be afraid. You're not afraid. You're a woman.
Wow.
Should I say that again?
No.
But I can, because you are again. Your husband married you. You're
I'm
again. He gained you. Profit. Everybody say the bling, say the bling, say the bling, say the bling. Right. Okay. All right. So we like to ask questions around wisdom, failures, mistakes, foolish choices, if any. What would you consider like 2 or 3 of the wisest decisions you've made? Or should we start with the 2 or 3 unwise decisions?
Let's start with the wise first.
Should we start with the wise?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
I think the number one wisest decision I made was to give my life to Christ.
Awesome.
I'm not just saying that because I think people are just like,
yeah, come again.
And doing that early, you know.
So that means that you woke up around 2 a.m. and then you just gave your life. It was very early.
Actually, it was earlier than that. Something 12:58.
I mean, I want to go there, so you're following me like.
No, but I did that when I was very young, and I think
Okay.
that really helped me to have an understanding of right and wrong, an understanding of being saved and what is
Yeah.
expected of you as somebody who is truly saved. So in
Yeah.
my choice of words, my choice of friends, even the kinds of songs I listened to as a child. I listen to some songs and they're like, I know I should not be listening to this
song.
because I'm a child of God, and the language that some of my friends were using as well in secondary school.
Yeah.
And if I want to feel among,
you
but then you try to
say,
say, as a child of God, you don't really used to
go.
It did not really align. And that really did help me in life. And with even my career as well, where I can pray about a career decision.
Come on now.
And the Holy Spirit is saying,
So
do
it's
this.
practical,
do that.
it's not like textbook.
And my sister and I talk about this all the time. I was like, man, when my sister and I are talking about our salvation, it's like, man, Bella, thank God that we give our lives to Christ early, because you can see that it's really advantageous in your later years.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you're not bothering yourself with because you have that background. It's so solid. So that's my wisest decision.
Awesome.
By God. And, the second is the husband I married.
Hmm.
Pastor Dami.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Nah, 5-star.
Oh.
What am I even saying? About 100 billion and more.
Come on
stars.
now. A whole galaxy by himself.
I'm telling you, the wisest decision that I made
Amazing.
after salvation is the husband I married. I think that if I hadn't married my husband, I was so fine. I would have been so miserable. I would have been so miserable. I don't think there's any other word to use. The misery would have been to the nth degree.
And to think that your surname was not Rabel, because if you were not married, you'd be a Miss Rabel.
Wow. Where were we?
Where were we or who are we? Who are we as a technology company?
Huawei.
Huawei. We might not be in Huawei, but we're in Yahweh.
Yeah. Ooh! Why for Yahweh? Glory. No, but really, my husband is the second most wisest decision that I ever made. And I'm thankful to God that I prayed about it. I'm thankful to God that even at the time, sometimes it's like, it's not really what I wanted or what I thought was what I wanted. Well, again, when you know how you hear God, the best decision I have made after salvation.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I don't know. I didn't choose the family I was born into,
Yeah.
but if I had to, and I chose the one I'm in right now, it would have been my third wisest decisions.
Amazing.
As well. Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about the
not so wise ones.
Yes. Did you do anything to make you go like, BellaRose, you didn't try?
I think the situations I got into before I got married. I excused bad behavior a lot. I excuse a lot of bad behavior. And so sometimes my husband
because
does certain things
you were so like a good person, and you thought everybody should just catch on.
Yes. So now my husband is an amazing person. He's such a great guy. So when he does something, sometimes I'm just like, I don't deserve this because of the nonsense I have excused in the past. It's like, I can't believe that someone can be this good and this kind. My husband is so kind, and I have experienced wickedness. So that means evil, like
as in evil, HE
because it was
-VIL. The he
yes
had evil.
I think that's probably the worst decisions I have ever made. Like all of that, and it's so because there were times I heard from the Holy Spirit, sister, don't do it. but when you said sister, you saw a star in the person, as in see star. Yeah, but that star is not your star.
It's not your star.
Don't go there. But I didn't listen.
It's not leading to where Jesus was born. It's leading to where
the backyard of the evil place. No, I think that's got to be the worst decision. Every single one of them. And so that's why I say a lot of times, I don't have an ex with BellaRose. What? I don't know.
Are you serious?
I ain't got no exes.
You don't have any exes?
No.
Why? As in like you're denying yourself, self-denial.
It's not so like it's the fact. All things are passed away.
Oh wow.
I married the man I fell in love with. Praise Jesus.
Wait, don't use that. Look at you. Let's dissect this your theological approach.
all things are passed away. Behold, everything has become
when you
new.
were in those situationships, were you already born again?
Yes, I was.
All right.
I was. Oh.
So this was after Christ, not before Christ. So if you see them now, if you see them, would you say hello?
Oh, definitely. Some of them just
so
like,
not,
oh, hi, no.
A bitterness
There's
of
no
the
need.
heart matter.
I'm in the best place I could ever be.
Come on
So
now,
it's not
work it now.
I am in
Say
the
that
best
again.
place. I'm
Say that.
flourishing.
Come on
You know
now.
what I mean? Rehoboth. Praise Jesus.
Green pasture stoves.
Yes, I'm in the best. I'm not one who regrets things. So I mean, there are things that have happened in the past that I've felt like, oh, maybe this shouldn't have happened. But in hindsight, there was a purpose for it. It
Good
contributes to my experience,
your growth,
and my
your development,
and even my testimony and how I share that with people. Where it's like, maybe I went through this so that you wouldn't have to go through it. Maybe I experienced certain things because if I explain to other people, they wouldn't make those same mistakes that I made. But if anything, I'm thankful to God that there weren't any life-altering, destiny-altering, mistakes that I made at any point in time. That I am incredibly grateful to God for.
Awesome. 2 more questions, then I'll do like fast paced this or that questions.
Okay.
So number 1, let's talk about social media because you play in the media space. So there are all kinds of things in the media now. Like people are doing what nonsense just to trend, or
fame.
to be popular, or to create content that causes discontent, right? I can't even afford to have corn in a tent. Okay,
or in your pockets.
Some people have corn in their pocket too.
Their back pockets.
People are doing all kinds of things just to trend, like controversies, nudity, indecency, expletives, anything, stalking, bad behavior. What's your take on that? And where do you stand?
So I mean,
what are your thoughts?
If anything, right? My sister and I talk about these things a lot. My son and I, my husband and I as well. And it's always like, where do you get to as an individual where your validation comes only from social media? Like, and that's weird if you live for validation from social media. And so I am so thankful to God that as a person, as an individual, I have gotten to a point in my life where if I like, I post a picture and does not have one like.
Come on now.
I'm okay.
Come on now.
And I think it takes a lot of mental strength to get there.
Yes.
Because I have been on the other side
yourself.
where it's like, oh my God, no likes. No
what's
comments.
happening?
What's going on? What's happening? Am I being shadow banned? They're not shadow banning you, auntie. People are not interested in what you're posting. So it's like I've come to a place where I'm sharing what I'm sharing because it is what I want people to know. The people who will look for me will look for me. And if they see that thing I want them to see, that's the beginning and the end of it. But I'm not going to get my self-worth
worked up
from I don't have a like, I don't have a comment, and I'm having a meltdown. It takes a lot of strength to get there because if you don't have that strength, right? Or ice cream, but like
ice cream. But if you're crying, then your eyes can produce cream.
Some cream.
Come on, now.
Just don't eat it. But like, if you don't have that mental strength, you don't have that. But like, did you ever lick your tears as a child?
Of course, salty.
Why did
and
you do
sweet. I licked my tears. I ate chalk, candle wax, a bit of sand. Right, like I just wanted to.
We were weird as
things.
children. Anyway,
we're not weird. We were wired.
But
somebody who was dyslexic rearranged the I and the E. I'm not weird. I'm wired.
Yeah.
Right. That's why. One. Yeah. Because I'm wired. I light up the world. Electricity.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
A thought for anyone who's dyslexic.
Wired.
So anyway, I mean, I had to get to that place mentally where I'm like, I am not going to stress myself if I don't have.
Wow. You got there mentally.
Mentally.
That's why the 2 most important men in your life tally.
Yeah.
Your dad.
My husband.
Your husband.
Praise Jesus.
Mentally.
Yeah. And I think that can also reflect itself in what you choose to do for fame. Because if you do something, it's like, I do a video now. And oh my God, likes, comments, shares.
Let me do that.
I want to do that again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to. So I have this alter ego called Not BellaRose.
Not BellaRose.
Yes, Not BellaRose.
So why not just call it Bellathon? instead of the Rose?
There's a Bella Thorne. She's a Disney girl.
Yeah, but Bella Thorne, she has an E, I think.
Yeah,
remove the E.
No, I'm Bella
Or
Rose.
Bella Throne. Put the E around Bella Throne.
No.
So the alter ego is he a good one or?
I mean, it's a good one.
It's like such a fiercely Beyonce or?
Oh no! This is. I mean,
like
again, it's sort of how I see things.
So this is a good one.
Comically,
so
a comical perspective.
Bella Throne.
Bella Throne. But I don't have to change it.
Don't worry. You don't have to change like Naira notes.
People just accept it like that. Accept the old one.
Not Bella.
Not BellaRose.
Okay.
So I talk about like social issues, using satire. And so I have like all of these characters, like, you know, someone with an Igbo accent, Yoruba, Edo, different accents. And it went viral in 2019, thereabout. And I started getting people commenting and saying, "Oh, why don't you continue with your alter ego?" And I mean, again, first off, sometimes I can be very hard on myself. I'm like, if it's not funny to me, then I don't want anybody to see it. Like, I don't want to stress about that. But then I don't want to be known as
not BellaRose. Okay.
I'm someone who has a fantastic sense of humor and who's, by the grace of God, talented to do things, you know, in many different, express my talent in many different ways. But I'm not a comedian. Even though at some point I was being referred to as Instagram comedian. I'm not a comedian, please. You should stop. I just have a comical take on issues. And every time people are like, where is not BellaRose? And somebody posted something on Instagram, on Twitter one day and said,
BellaRose not?
I saw people, I mean, almost every month there is someone asking on Twitter, like, where is not BellaRose? And a guy tweeted recently and he said, I don't think she wanted to make a fame out of that. Like, it was just,
thank you for speaking for me.
Exactly, because that's the thing. And I'm thankful that I was able to also get to that place mentally where I'm like, even if I post something on my page that does not go viral, I don't want to feel pressured to continue with not BellaRose because people want that person. I don't necessarily want to be that person.
You want to be in charge.
I want to be in charge of my narrative, of whatever it is that I'm putting out there. And so if people don't find it popular, that's okay. And I have made peace with that. So I'm not going to be someone
under pressure
because people want more of that person. And we see that that's what is happening. It's like, oh, if you can be more of this thing that people like, they will follow you. They will reward
you with their attention.
Exactly. I mean, again, I did
comments.
Influencer gigs with that as well. People would pay money
for the not BellaRose.
Yes, for that. I still do influencing even on my personal page and all of that. But this is not what makes me. So I'm not going to be that person. And so I think that if everyone, I don't know the possibility of I'm incredibly optimistic. It's like, get to that point as an individual where you're not going to get your self-worth from likes and all of these things. Now, it is even very easy to get famous now. Before.
Boom.
It's so easy to get famous. And people can get carried away with that, where it's like, oh, well, my friend is famous because she did this. If I do the same thing, I may be famous. Okay, so you're famous and you have money. What next? What next? Or what if, as a Christian, for instance, it's like, maybe God doesn't want you doing this thing. But you're not going to hear God if you want to be that person. You have an audience to serve. And so God will have to take the backseat on that. And so for me, it is, if God tells me drop everything right now, will it be too heavy for me to drop? Or will it be easy? So please let me make my life easy by not, you know, gauging my self-worth. I'm not going to base my self-worth on that. And so it's an inside job. It is personal. If people see you dress a certain type of way and they want to see that next time, you have to do that because you're trying to serve them because of what you want. You want to be famous. Or, you know, there are lots of examples. You can't even start. But like, get to that point as a person. So when things don't happen the way that you want them to, you're not getting depressed as a result.
And when they do happen, you don't go wild out, excited to the point of
and then if
losing
somebody
your
comes
values.
and promises you fame, I mean, Jesus and the devil come to mind. They come and they're like, oh, you have verified Instagram. You will have 1 million followers. I will pay you this amount of money for X, Y, and Z. It starts exciting you. Because again, these are the things that give you your self-worth. But what if these things are actually leading you into destruction?
True.
Because it is fame that you want. For you, it's like, hey, dream come true. But
Might
that
be
may
a
not be God's will.
nightmare.
It might be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And not a dream come
Yes,
true.
exactly.
So you just have that mental strength and that sense of self-worth where it's like, you know what, I'm content where I am.
Yeah.
And if for some reason God says, child, you need to leave that, it's not going to be too heavy for me
Amazing.
to drop.
Amazing. I love that. I'm content where I am.
Yeah.
So even if I'm not online, I'm content.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm content.
Yeah.
So like me or not, I'm content.
Verb and noun.
Yeah. You get it?
Yeah.
So that's proverb. For a verb. That means you're wise. Yeah. And now, National Open University of Nigeria.
Where are you going with that, please?
Because I'm about to graduate to the end of the show.
Oh my goodness. Now that was a good one. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. Proverb. Wise.
Proverb, yeah. All right.
Brilliant
But-
reference.
So you spoke about your sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a great sense of humor.
I do.
That's very clear. And that's, humor, more colors. You're bringing more colors.
More
your
hues.
Yeah. More hues.
Am I giving yellow?
Yeah, giving yellow, orange,
Red.
brown. Yeah.
Brown?
Yeah.
Brown is
Green.
my husband's favorite color.
The land is green.
Land is green.
Yeah, you're wearing a green. Mm.
Am I wearing it? Green.
Mm.
Yeah. One has to be fast to keep up with you,
I'm never in the Kardashians.
Keep up with me. Kuda. Keep up with Dami. Oh no. Kudo. One kudo for you.
Nigga, kudos. All right. Okay, we need to end the show.
It's been a long
But
run.
I want to give you an opportunity to just speak to somebody out there, right? It could be anything that you wish you knew before,
Mhm.
or maybe something you're working on, a project they want you to be a part of. Anything you just want to share right in 2 minutes.
I'm doing so much at the moment. So I will say first off, please support everything I'm doing when you check my Instagram page at BellaRose. But I think to anyone who's watching, especially if you're a creative and you feel like, first off, you have so many talents and you don't know how to just navigate having all of these talents, I will say there is a time for everything. Don't feel too overwhelmed by the number of gifts God has given to you. But at the same time, don't bury your gifts and say, well, I've got too many. I don't know what to do. So, well, whatever. Try to start out somewhere. If you want to, for instance, be an actor and you also really love, say, singing, for instance, and you love to write as well, which one is going to perhaps reward you earliest? Right? Maybe focus on that one for now, but still keep honing the other ones in other areas. So go and act in church. If you're not going to get a major deal on Africa Magic or on Netflix, start small, start somewhere. Keep honing these skills in any way that you can. Just be useful in other places with your talents and try to volunteer. Use your gifts for free for other people. God will open big, big, big doors for you. And if you're not saved just yet, I think that salvation is so important, especially in this age. You need to have an anchor, and that the strongest anchor is Christ Jesus. And so have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Sometimes things happen and you feel like you are alone, but the Holy Spirit is always there to remind you that you're not alone, even though it seems like it. It's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to feel like things are unfair. But when you are telling anyone, make sure it is Christ you're telling, and you're not gossiping about Jesus Christ for other people. Like, tell him how you feel. God's ego is not fragile. He will hear you out. He will hear you out. He will comfort you, and he will give you grace to go through whatever situation you are going through, which may seem like a very, very tough one. And when you come out on the other side, you will just wonder how you ever believed that God left you at any point. So,
wow. How would you believe that God left you? God didn't leave you. He righted you.
Wow. Righted.
Righteousness. Left and right. Now let me say this. When BellaRose said that if you're acting and you don't have big stages, just go and act in church. You don't mean go and be a hypocrite too.
No, please, drama unit. Let's be clear.
And number two, when she said Anchor. It's not talking about the podcast platform.
No, but if you don't have a podcast, you could try that.
Come on now.
You could use that. It's
Come
very
on
easy.
now.
It's very easy.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing with
the
us.
opportunity.
It's been like you've given us a wide coverage area. Like we touched on so many
We did.
pieces, so many parts of your life, and I'm sure
glad.
that somebody has drawn inspiration
I
and
hope so.
direction.
I hope so.
Right. And then I really love your emphasis on authenticity
Yeah.
and then family,
Mhm.
relationships.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So if you're just watching this, maybe you stumbled on it. I saw a comment that someone put earlier in the day that I just stumbled on this podcast and I'm loving it. Right. So if you're watching this particular episode and you're just stumbling on it, go all the way back to the beginning and watch. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google Podcasts, all the major podcast streaming platforms. So you want to love it. Before we close, there's an exercise, a game that
Let's
we
do
usually
it.
play. So this is the most eager I've seen any of our guests.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Will you fall my hand?
No.
You will raise my hand.
Lift it up.
Hallelujah.
You raise me up
So I can
on
stand.
mountain.
Dew.
Mountain.
Mountain. It's Mountain Dew. Anyway, so we can 7-Up. That's perfectly ascend into the places of God.
Ascend into
Yeah, higher things.
the mountain Kilimanjaro
Yes. So
Back
Everest.
and get some rest. No.
Yeah, get some rest on Everest. Everest. Like you rest ever on
Evermore.
the mountain.
Praise Jesus. Eternity
Forevermore.
here we come.
I want to come to eternity when I'm 99. BellaRose, I beg. All right, guys, we're going to see you after this. And it's going to be a beautiful game. All right, guys, it's great to be back. I hope you have shopped our merch. We have an amazing collection of brilliant merch. We don't just want you to hear wisdom. We want you to wear wisdom. That way you're a mobile ball of divine intelligence, illuminating your world with creativity and with some snazziness. Right. So
Swagoo.
check out some swagoo. Not swag. So check out our website and patronize and buy, purchase, share, and all. Now, BellaRose is super keen and super eager.
I'm showing them that it's all blank.
So it's all blank.
All blank.
Yeah, so it's going to be our original stuff. But before we go
Yeah.
into that, let us go into this.
Let's.
All right, let's go.
Let's
So
do it.
before you do, let me ask you, what do you think about white people wisdom?
I think it's hilarious. I think it's so hilarious. Sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, why? Other times I'm like, oh yeah. So it's deep sometimes. Other times it's just like, why? Like, why? Pastor Dami, why?
which one made you go like, why?
Do I remember?
You might not remember the words, but maybe like the concept.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
But like
okay.
a couple of times I was like, but I think I like it. I do like it because it's creative. It's a creative thing. You know, it also helps you see things from a different perspective. You know, I think you did one about corn now.
Yeah.
Or you done one about there was one I think I saw on Twitter.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I only see you on Instagram.
Yes.
But I went on Instagram and I said, and I was like, oh, they brought this to Twitter. But I think that the responses to that for me was like, oh yeah, this is actually having the effect it should have.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I like it. It's the fact that it can help you see things from a different perspective. Another time it's just like, why? Like puns are great.
All right.
Puns are great, and you do a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. Just to be clear, it's PUN we're talking about.
PUNS.
Just to be clear. All right, let's go. So now I'm going to give you 2 white people quotes that I've shared in public. You're supposed to, it's going to be easy for you because you already have that kind of mind. I'm going to omit one word.
Okay.
You're supposed to fill in the blank based on how you know.
So will I write it here?
No, that's not where the writing comes.
I feel like writing.
Don't worry.
Okay.
1 minute. Just make sure you get this right in.
Yeah, I
before
will.
you start your writing.
Writing, yeah.
Never allow your purse ability place a limit on your dash. What's rhythmical and witty?
Purse as in PURSE.
Ability. Place a limit on your
Giving.
That giving is not giving.
It's not giving.
It's not giving. Based on
Never let your purse ability
place a limit on your
giveability.
0-0.
It's definitely something about giving. It's definitely about giving.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm confident it's about giving.
You know, someone is writing jam and they missed out the question and say, how was it? It was great. so
Never allow your purse ability.
Yeah. Place a limit on your something that, you know, how I get like either pun or rhymes or
purse ability. Possibility.
Oh, good morning.
Why did it take so long for me to figure it out? BellaRose, why? I have no eating.
Don't worry, we have food for you before you leave. All right.
I apologize to my family. I'm so sorry. I'll get the next one.
Like game show, right? Actually, we need to next season we need to have our music dun.
Yeah.
The whole music thing. You did a game show thing.
I did.
How was it?
It was great.
Amazing.
It was great.
Yeah, we need to introduce music like dun that game show kind of thing to increase the prayer.
Yeah.
The prayer beyond
make your blood prayer to do bim bim.
Bing bim. All right, let's go. I know she walks so elegantly that you even count her feet. But double check to confirm that she's not a
counterfeit. Wait, what? Please give me more. I don't vex. At this point, at this very point in time, I'm angry.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god! So, which more do you want? Do you want Beth Moore or more rude? So I should give you more.
Wow, Beth Moore.
Beth Moore. She preaches well. Bet we have more to do.
Let's go.
So this one, this was come with your own creative caption or quote. We usually write it
like so.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 words.
Charades, huh?
2 words you must use.
Okay.
Right, but get creative, get witty, get all that good stuff. Number 1, BellaRose must be inside.
Okay.
Right, and then number 2, media genius.
Media genius must be in. I'm doing one white paper.
Yes,
wisdom.
just one. Yeah, just
and
one.
Those
but
2
include
words
those. Yeah, yeah. So there are 3 words now. BellaRose name 1. Media genius phrase.
Who's the media genius?
You can't write who's the media genius as the.
And I'm just like, who's that?
Who's that?
Who?
Are you being prideful? See, look at humble pride.
BellaRose and media genius from the inside.
Yeah, you have some time to think. Just make sure it's before Jesus returns. Sure.
Sorry, this is what I think. Let me just write the words.
So that
small, yeah.
If the rapture happens, they won't say that. Oh, what were you doing before Jesus came? I was writing. Your writing is nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow.
I went to good school.
So those people let me get
BellaRose. That's my name, innit? Media genius. It has to be really creative. It's a lot of pressure.
No prayer. Well, small prayer. A little.
Why is my name now so long like this? It's adding a lot of more this thing.
Why is it so long? Because you belong to a family.
That's it. That's why. Okay.
Okay.
He's deep to me.
Yes, enter.
He's deep to even me myself. Let's do it.
It just sounds like you got an alert from the back.
Okay, let's go.
This is not deep, because that exclamation. Oh, I see. Some people, the only mark they get is exclamation mark after they write the exams.
Okay. This is a statement.
Okay. Is that what your statement?
I'll still make some bold, Abby.
Anyone. Anyhow you like it.
Let me now make it. No, that means stress.
And I'm painting the thing. This is now art class.
How do you do it? This is how you do it.
Okay, it's just sometimes if I have a keyword that I know. So like shade. See the look of pride. All right, read it.
I don't let the world stress me, dear, because Jesus gene in us makes BellaRose a media genius.
Hey!
Did I try?
Your laughter is funnier than what you wrote. But I love it.
Did I try?
No, it was good.
Rate me.
It was good. No, it was good.
Really?
One of the best we've got.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I think so. What do you guys think? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You need to frame it.
Oh my gosh.
See?
Wow.
Media genius.
Media
genius.
What to break it down?
I just say I should
just
in case.
help people are not getting it to get it. Beautiful. Thank you so much, BellaRose. It's been an amazing time with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your wit, your humor, your laughter.
Thank you. I've really had a great time.
So good to have you on the show today. Guys, please don't stop sharing this with your friends, your family, your loved ones. We have viewers from over 50 countries of the world right now. That's impressive.
That's what I'm like.
I'm sure if we let it continue, you keep adding that.
I'll put roses on that.
Go on. All right. If you haven't subscribe to our YouTube channel and all the podcast platforms. Please buy our merch. There's this beautiful book that has amazing quotes inside, and then the backstory for many of the things I've posted. You'll love it as well. Until the next time, ensure that you don't lose that gene in us.
Let's share the grace.
I'll see you next week. All right, bye.